In this video, we're gonna try to go over as many of the things that I would have wished to know when I was a new player in this game. And if you're new to me and this channel, don't forget to hit the sub button if you want more Call of the Wild content. I upload daily. The game unfortunately has a lot of small things that isn't as intuitive as you might have wanted it to be when you first started out in the game, and that makes it really hard. For instance, something as simple as changing map. Some people has actually gone out to the start screen to start a new game to play a different map. You don't have to do that. If you're in game, all you have to do is hit your map key. On PC, it's M. Once you're on the map key, you hit H. H is going to bring up the toggle reserve selection, and it actually says that down here in the bottom as well, but a lot of people miss that. From here you can pick and choose whichever map you want to be jumping right onto and continue the hunt over there. You're not going to lose any experience, you're not going to lose any cash by doing so. And a lot of people also ask me why I think it's so important to buy DLC weapons in the game. Simply because you don't have to earn the rifle score to use the weapon or any cash to buy the weapon. You can see here the 30-06 is free, the Hot Sig, which is the muzzleloader, is free, and the M1 Ivaniak is also free. All you have to do is buy it in the store. It's free. You just go hit there, buy, boom, there you have it. Didn't cost me anything. Ammo, however, does cost a little, but it's nowhere as bad as one could have thought. 850, go out, kill 2 roadies, you should have the money, and then you get on with your hunt with a good gun. It's gonna make your life so much easier. And once you finally bought something, well, then it can actually be quite tricky to get into your inventory as a new player. You have to go to storage, which is all the stuff that you currently own in game. Then you have your inventory to the right, which is the stuff you're currently carrying. Up here you can see how much you can carry. You can actually increase this by certain skills or carry a backpack. I would never advise you to carry a backpack unless you're going to place tents out in the wilderness. Backpacks will make you scare a lot more than what you are without a backpack, so be very careful using those. To get something into your inventory, we're gonna scroll all the way down to our M1. We just bought this one. You have to drag it to the right, drop it into your inventory. Once you've done that, you need to hit escape and you hit F2, go into your inventory, find your weapon, the M1 Ivaniak, drag that out to the hotkey where you want it placed, go to the ammo, find the 30-06 bullets, drop that in there, go to the site you want to use, and drop that in there. And now you're ready. Yes, it's that smart to use. Some people might not have thought of this either, but even though you only have one scope, you can attach that to as many rifles as possible, as long as they're compatible. Here we are dragging the Hyperion onto 3 different rifles and putting the Argus on my Virant. A thing that also can be quite tricky to figure out in the game is to figure out what kind of weapon to use for which animals. If you're new to this game, you probably start out with the 243, and if you're lucky, you bought the M1, and it doesn't even say what you can shoot with those if you just hover over the guns. No, you have to go into the ammo and find the compatible ammo to that gun. The M1 being the 30-06 ammo. If you hover over that, you'll see down here recommended classes 4 till 6. You can also see the icons for the animals right over here. We have an easier way of doing that. That's called the spreadsheet. It has everything you need to know about what to use on what, and what kind of animals of the certain species are big looking ones. Link for that in the Discord link down below. Whenever you spot an animal, have a links right there. You can see in the top right corner of the spotting screen, there is a little icon and a 3 next to it. That is the animal class. But you can actually find it in game as well. If you don't want to be using our spreadsheet, go to wildlife, go and figure out what animal you're looking at. Right here you see black bear. And up here you see the animal class 7, which means you need to use an ammo that is permitted on animal class 7, which in my case would be the 300 or the 30-06, the M1, the 303, any of those kind of guns. And as you probably notice as well, my loadout consists of as many polymer tip bullets as humanly possible. The polymer tip bullet has more penetration than their soft point counterparts. If we take a look at the 30-06 polymer tip bullet right here, you can see it has 40 penetration and 11 expansion. If you go down and look at the soft point, it has 50 expansion, but only 19 penetration. Basically, the way the game works is that you really want to be able to hit the vitals of the animal if you want to achieve the 4 check marks. Also, a thing in the game is called hunting pressure. Hunting pressure appears whenever you shoot an animal and it dies. It appears at the point of impact of your first bullet to the animal. So that means for it to appear here, I have hit an animal right dead center here. It doesn't matter if the animal doesn't die until it's crossed the entire lake. This is where I hit it. This is where the hunting pressure will appear. There is 4 stages of hunting pressure. You can see a little more clear down here, the different ones. I'm pretty sure you have level 1 up there. Then you have level 2 down here, where I've shot 2 animals in both zones. Over here you have level 3, and then you can actually get level 4, which will be even more pink. But the thing with hunting pressure is, if you reach level 4, meaning killing 4 animals in the same area without being in a stand or a tripod or hunting them with a bow, these icons here will disappear from your map and the animals will find other places to drink, which usually is quite nearby. They can sometimes end up drinking inside the hunting pressure as well. The zone doesn't disappear per se, you just can't see it on your map anymore. As soon as the level 4 hunting pressure is gone again, they might return to this zone even though it's not visible anymore, and you'll have to go back and spot them once again to get it to appear on your map. The way you make hunting pressure disappear again is simply by shooting animals in other places on the map. As you level up, you're gonna get skills and perk points. Remember to use those. You can see up here top if you have any available. 0 skill points and 0 perk points. I'm level 60, max level in the game, been that for a while. I don't have any more. But something happens after a while. Once you've really gotten going into the game, all of a sudden you stop gaining points every level. Up until I think it's level 37 or 38, you gain a skill or a perk points every level. And they keep changing, so you gain a skill point 1 level and a perk point next level. But from level 37 or level 38, you start gaining them every 3rd level only. Which also means that there is going to be things that you're not going to be able to obtain in your character's talents. If you quickly want to see what I run, mine is heavily based around rifle hunting. I don't do a lot of bow hunting, I don't like sneaking around too much, but I run 3 out of 3 in locate tracks, 3 out of 3 in track knowledge. I have hardened, which gives me a little more life. Then this one called soft feet is probably the most important in the entire game. Get it as soon as you can, because it reduces the amount of noise you make, and that means you're gonna spook less animal, or you're gonna spook them from shorter distances than before. I also have connected dots. It just basically draws a line on my little PDA where it shows where the animal is going and what kind of direction. I also have init triangulation, not sure how to pronounce that. Basically just makes it easier for me to locate the animal whenever they're doing a call. I have improvised blind, which helps you sit around in bushes in case that you are trying to call something in or you're working the need zones to try to get them back to you. I also have endurance, makes it a little easier to get the gun ready to shoot animals once you've been running around a lot. I have disturbed vegetation just to be able to see if I should be lucky enough to find an albino or melanistic or something like that. It also just puts another track on your map, so it makes tracking a little easier. In the ambusher skill, 1 out of 4, I don't use scent, but I can't get to tier 1 without putting one there. 3 out of 3 in spotting knowledge, which is super important because you're going to be able to see when you need to stop running towards animals. I'm going to go over that in just a moment, because as soon as they change stance, you need to slow down and figure out, hey, I need to sneak from here. I also have the more the merrier. Don't do missions, but once again, it's a throwaway point to get to this one, which is sight spotting. This one right here allows you to be able to spot animals through your scope. Also have impact resistant. It doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's just a nice little thing to have because I tend to fall off stuff quite often, and usually I end up dying if I'm not quick enough with my first aid kit. And what the entire sight spotting thing does, it's gonna do the same for you as whenever you're doing like this with your binos. You can now do that with your rifle to get the info box of what the animal is doing, what state it's in, the weight of the animal, and the level of the animal if you have sight spotting like I do. You can highlight them with your scope. This is very, very helpful, and definitely will make life a lot easier for you, so you don't have to be like this. Oh, I don't know if this is a medium one or if it's just a 2. Need to spot it first. Now I can just do it like this with my scope. Super helpful thing. And now why spotting knowledge is so important. Pay attention to the state of the animal. Right now, he is calm. I'm 172 meters away from him. I'm just going to start walking forward. I'm actually going to run because we're going to get into that in a moment as well. But there we go. Now he's attentive. Means that he knows something is up. You can still keep moving forward a tiny bit before you need to do anything. When he's alert, you drop down, you crouch, or you prone. Because at that point, he knows something isn't as it's supposed to be. You just let him rest. He's going to go back to calm. He's going to go right back to drinking unless you end up spooking him again. Now he's back to attentive. And just in a moment, he's going to be calm again. But you can see here, with being max level and such, for me, with the skills and perks I have, it actually gives me the opportunity to come real close to the animal. Once again, I can start walking. He's attentive, now he's alert, and there we go. He still has an idea, something is going on. We're 120 meters away. This is definitely a place where I would be pulling out the rifle, and if it wasn't because there was a damn blizzard in the way, it shouldn't be too hard to take him out. But you get the point, right? But once you have that skill, it makes the game a lot easier. And you really should be focusing your time on hunting water. I see a lot of people get the advice from older players, don't run around, take your time, be sneaky. I'm basically calling BS on that thing. If you really want to optimize the way you play the game, if you really want to optimize how many diamonds and such you can get, always run towards water. Because if you pay attention to these small dots on your map, that's the need zones. Those appear on your map whenever you spot an animal that is currently in that zone doing that thing. For the most part, I have most of them around here. If you know that all reindeers are going to be drinking between 1700 and 2100 and early morning as well, they drink from 5 till 9 as well, you can find all that info in the spreadsheet. I cannot advise you to check it enough, guys. It is super important. Then you're not going to be finding reindeers out in the open. You're not going to be finding bears right in the open. For instance, here on Medved, there is a hotspot right here where you're going to find both bears drinking, musk deer drinking, and the reindeer drinking at the same time, pretty much. And it's between 5 and 7 a.m. The bears drink from 3 till 7, and the reindeers drink from 5 till 9. So that means you have like a 2-hour window where you can potentially find both of them down here, making that an extreme hotspot. And this means you really should be focusing your efforts on trying to get to as much water as quick as possible. And then just check the banks. Here on Medved it's pretty easy because the water is kind of hard. You can just run out into it. But in general, just run towards any patch of water. If you spot anything on the way you think might be worth tracking down, do it. But for the most part, I can guarantee you leveling up and such, it's not going to be worth it. Just try to get the levels out of the way so you get the skills and perks that makes the game so much easier for you. And once again, trying to prove here with the setup that I'm running, this is a level 1. This doesn't spook as easy. The higher level you see on the animal, 1 trivial being the smallest, 9 legendary being the highest, the easier they are to spook. Now they're attentive, and they might actually be traveling away, but doesn't really matter. You can still see I'm that one didn't spook, but the level 4 right there did, because 4s will see you a little bit faster. Also, the wind is terrible, so that is probably what ended up spooking these guys. But I cannot say it enough. Don't be afraid of running in this game. All of those guys who want to have it as close to a real hunting experience as possible, power to you, but I'm not about that life. I'm about trying to get as many diamonds as possible. Once again, 150 out, she's attentive. She's gonna go alert in a moment. I'm just walking towards her. I'm 130 meters away. If you don't have any skills and perks and such, I'd probably stop running around 200 meters out. And a way you can check that without having rangefinder by nose is actually go to your map. When you spot an animal, she's gonna appear like this, or he is gonna appear like this. And if you stand still, go with the cursor to the animal, down in the right hand bottom corner, it actually says exactly how far you are away from the dot. 121 meters. I mean, that's pretty accurate, isn't it? And then you just take your time, ready up the shot, and take out a beautiful little bear right here. She's down. This also gives me the opportunity to talk about the check marks that I mentioned when we ran over the ammo that you need to use for the specific animals. If you want to be able to get the ultimate trophy in the game, which is a diamond. Not talking about the geo because it's super rare and you're probably not going to see that for a long time. But to get the full score of the animal trophy rating, which either you're gonna get a nothing, you're gonna get a bronze, silver, gold, or diamond. This one is a small one, it's only gonna be a silver. But if you hover over here, you can see the diamond requirements. If it had a trophy rating of 27.70 or higher, it would be diamond. However, if I didn't pass these check marks right here, I wouldn't have been able to claim this as a silver. It would have only been a bronze. The animal's trophy goes down by 1 if there is just one of these missing. You need the proper ammo for this animal. I showed you how to check that earlier. You need to shoot it 2 times or less. You need to not hit it in the trophy organ. The trophy organ on bears is being the skull, so don't hit them in the face. And then you need to hit 1 vital or more. This obviously being the part where I say get the polymer tip bullets rather than the soft points. If you had a shot like this shooting frontal, I will not even guarantee you the soft points would have penetrated to the lungs. It might have, and if it had, yes, the animal will bleed out faster, but I still just don't want to risk losing out on any of these to get a little more experience and cash, because that's basically everything you're losing out on. If you hover over the cash down here, you can see 4 other bonuses. This was actually how the game worked back in the days. This is not something you should worry about as a beginner. Just go out there and kill as many animals as possible and get as much XP and cash as you can, so you can get to a place where it's really gonna get fun in this game. Just to touch down on the need zones again, they are on your map already when you start up the game, because the animals is tied to a zone somewhere on your map at a very certain time. Once the zone time runs out, the animal starts moving towards what it's supposed to be doing for the next few hours in the day, being either resting or feeding, and then you'll see the animal move across the map. As soon as they reach the zone, they're gonna stay there until the zone runs out or you end up spooking them out of the zone. I know this video is extremely basic, but I'm really trying to go over everything I wish I knew as a beginner. If I missed anything, please leave it down in the comments down below so we can help each other out. There is one last thing that I really want to try to touch down on as well, and we probably all tried it. We shot down a beautiful looking animal and we forgot to taxidermize it. You just saw me pick up a level 2 female bear. And of course, that's not going to be an insane trophy or anything, but I didn't taxidermize it. And I'm like, oh no, I wish I had it in my lodge. Is there something I can do? And yes, there is. Hit escape if you're on PC, bring up your menu, go to your trophy lodge, and then just fast travel somewhere to your trophy lodge. And once you're at your trophy lodge, hit the menu again, go to trophy manager, and you'll be able to taxidermize your latest unsaved harvest. This being the brown bear we just picked up. If you don't have the money to taxidermize it straight away, hit the save button. Once you hit the save button, it goes into this right here where there would be a list of animals. There we go. And here you can then taxidermize it when you have the money, or delete it if you don't want it anymore. You do need a trophy lodge to be able to place the animals, but I don't think you actually need a trophy lodge to be able to save or taxidermize the animals. But if you want to have them for display, always just save them. I think you can save up till 10 animals before you're gonna have to pick and choose which ones not to save anymore. And when you're really getting into this game and you need a trophy lodge, always buy Saseke Safari. Simply because there is some of the multi-mounts that you cannot place in Spring Creek Manor. So if you have anything that has the XXL platform, you're not going to be able to place that down in the Spring Creek Manor because they require a massive platform. But I think that was for the most part everything that I wanted to talk about for beginners in this video. I hope I covered basically everything that you need to know. If I forgot some things, then I'm sorry. Please leave them in the comment down below. If I forgot enough, I'm just gonna make a part 2 at some point. But I hope this gave you a basic understanding as a beginner to the game. I'd love to see you over on the Twitch streams as well, where if I did forget anything, you could always come ask me over there. I'll be more than happy to try to answer you. Honestly, we have quite a good time over there. So thank you guys so very, very much for watching. I hope this was useful. See you in the next one.